Hi, my name's Marge. Welcome to my tube. I'm a Heyoka, wise clown. A wise, sometimes I'm a smart ass. Usually I'm a clown. I like to try and keep it light every now and again. I gotta remind people about manners, but for the most part, I am just a person that has a lot of life experience, likes to share some points of view with a group of like-minded folks that might have some trouble recognizing the climate of the new world and how things are. And I just like to offer a little ease of my perspective. I just got out of call it meditate state. Today I did it nice. I did 49 minutes worth. Drop down, drop back in, back into your bones. I swear, when you're not paying attention, your body breathes from a different source that it is not from your nose or your mouth. It's really, really kind of esoteric, really. Anyway, I don't really keep track of a whole lot of mainstream things. I keep track of like-minded people and let them keep track of mainstream things, and more young rappers dying and people die. That's just what life is. And when you do things to accentuate the likelihood or probability of said death, well, that death is on you. Sometimes there's drugs that people take that can kill you. We're becoming more sensitive to things. Everybody's getting more heightened in sensitivity. They're becoming more in tune with themselves, and some of this attunement is causing dissidence, and in some cases even a little bit of insanity, because you're dialing into frequencies of things that you told were not real and true, and it's creating quite a bit of dissidence in you. See, but I've never been a part of the world that everyone else depicted on anything at all related to, the idea of the family. See, I didn't come into that. I've never fit into any paradigm, any normal constraint. I pretty much break molds. I break things. I find flaws in things so people can improve on their design, whether that's in your spiritual being, whether the alignment is out in you with your spirit, your body, your mind. So, things that I found in the last 2 days. I listened to a video yesterday. This is apropos to the climate. It was a little... Oh, I wanted to pay homage to respects to the meditation I did. Rasa... I always mispronounce her name. It's not because I don't try to get it right. It's because a lot of times my mouth and my brains aren't in congruence, in alignment with how things should sound by how they're spelled. Rasa. R-A-S-A. Meditations with Rasa. I hate these freaking commercials because these people are so dumb, they're not even spiritual. I can't even hear them. Luca Sutta. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to play that. Hope I don't get a copyright. Anyway, she's very, very talented, and she's consistent. See, those are the spiritual people that I look for, the ones that are consistent, the ones that are staying in balance of the per services that they provide and offers, what they do. They're not charging more for less. They're just consistent. I look for consistent people because the world is such an inconsistent place, and I know that other people can be, because I know that I am consistent, and if I can find them, me in them, and recognize that, then that's how I know that we're the same frequency. We can tell ourselves what to look for in this life. just at birth what we forget. And then as we grow up, you know, as we come into trying to figure things out, we're like, oh yeah, you know, universal laws are prevalent to us, but then we get our freaking views saturated by, you know, 5 o'clock or 5 o'clock at year 5, so you're then you're put in institutions, and you're at the mercy of what their curriculum that is offered. And a lot of times that is swayed by who's in charge and how they feel that day. It's very, very inconsistent. So yesterday a talk that I listened to was a song I listened to because my mom was one of these women that got taken advantage by men. She wasn't given a lot of tools that I was given to arm herself against the predator vibration, and that predator vibration isn't just in men, it's in women too. If you're using your feminine wiles to advance your life or profit, that's just as equally evasive as the one that said, well, she dressed like that, she's asking for it. It's no different. You guys just like to put twists on it, and I don't see any gender specifics in the vibrations of low deeds like greed. I don't see ethnicity. I just see a low vibing spirit or a high vibing spirit, and the highest vibe is love. Anyway, so there's this song that came out when I was like 2, and it just rang because I'm like a freaking recorder. I remember everything to a fault. Because oftentimes I'm reminded of these memories with taste, and my recall is paramount. It's freaking amazing. So when you're a good friend like me and you go into the trenches with your buddies, then a lot of times the recall that your friends have are times that were painful and don't really want to be reminded of them by you. So a lot of relationships over the years fall away. I've always tried to be a good person. Anyway, the song that came about, it's funny because I've told stories in other videos about my connection to Jesus Christ Superstore, and I don't recognize myself part of any kind of organized religion at all. I've gotten bits and pieces of the Easter egg out of and taken the good from what I can, and I leave the rest because that's another place of control and paradigm that has its seedy side, and that's all coming to light too. Anyway, so this song, I Am Woman, this woman her name is Helen Reddy, and I always thought it was Redding because I grew up in Redding, California, so I was like, you know, I knew about Destiny then, but I misheard. I didn't realize that her name until this year was Helen Reddy, because I've heard her in other talks that I've heard before about spiritual, because she's also involved in the QHHT world, the quantum tour. You know, it's soul soup. Dark matter is just DNA as far as I'm concerned, and all the scientists are not looking at it. That's why we are all connected. We're all just different aspects of the same thing. We're just dressed up in soul sacks that either, you know, attract you to your like tribe or repel you from vibrations that are not in your best higher good. So Helen Redding has this wonderful story, and she even told me, and you know, with all the tests I've had done in my whole entire life, because goddamn, I've had tests done, they've always tried to figure out what was wrong with me. I was just oversensitive, and she spoke on something, and I can't confirm nor deny anything, because you go to one doctor and you give him this one set of symptoms in your history, and he'll, based on where his frame of reference, he'll put a diagnosis on that. But if you go to another doctor, say the same thing verbatim, it's based on his history of frame of reference that will give you those diagnoses. And you can keep going to those doctors. Maybe they'll tell you the same thing, or maybe they'll keep telling you something different. But most of the time, they'll just start throwing pills and stuff on it, and I am healthy and don't need that. I just get a lot of headaches and have arthritis, and I feel like my joints are breaking down. But she was talking about this thing. See, because when they do determine what is wrong with you or give you a diagnosis, there's certain markers that you reach. And she actually mentioned something that I actually qualify for, that she said it can be treated with cortisone shots, and that's, I can't remember what it's called, but one of those is, I didn't realize that there was more airplanes. I didn't realize that it's all day, every day. I just want to go down to the fight and just kick these freaking guys in the junk. I just want to just rack them in the freaking junk, because it's all day and I get no peace and quiet, and that's all I want is peace and quiet. Maybe some running water, but evidently I don't deserve that, because the powers that be feel like I don't. So, what do you do? Anyway, when I was born, I didn't realize that females, or it's oftentimes when the mothers are pregnant under extreme stress, during the pregnancy, they draw on the adrenal glands of the child. It's like a backup battery pack. And when my mom was pregnant with me, that's what happened, and that can highly attribute to why I'm so sensitive. My heightened awareness. It's also because I care to pay attention, and I recognize the sides of, that we give ourselves a roadmap in our previous incarnations with our experiences that we have. So when we meet somebody or something in a situation that, well, we've already made this mistake, whether we've done it in this life or incarnations past, warning, red flag, don't do that. That means your guts and your brains and your heart are all in alignment, and they're saying, don't go that way, don't go that way. And I'm a teacher, and I try to teach people how to listen to themselves. And I have an effective way to communicate to get people, because I've had so much life experience. I can communicate from the spectrum from way down here to way up there. So if anybody wants to work with me, I'm just here to help. I hope you all have a rad day. Peace.